Hello, this is our Rats at ICC analyzing the game played in the Team 4545 League Team Event 52, round one of the playoffs. This is between Kid Viper and Future GM. I believe this will be one of the more entertaining and instructional videos I've made in this league. I was able to watch this game and see how it unfolded, and there's plenty to learn here for both sides and for anybody that watches this. Okay, let's just have a look. Okay, now at this point there comes a double error. Both sides don't play the best move here, and it's critical that everybody learn the concept I'm about to show you. Okay, white plays knight c3, and that's not the best move here. I invite you to stop the video and let you determine what black should do. So black to move and do the best he can. Okay, you should have resumed the video. First off, before I show you what black can do, the correct move for white in this position is to play d3. d3 does a lot of things. One of them, of course, is avoiding what black could have done, but d3 supports pawn to f4 and followed by knight f3 and castling and all kinds of things. But knight c3 is just not the right choice here, and it's a trick. It's called the center fork trick, and black will be guaranteed at least equality and even strong winning chances if he just simply plays knight takes e4. And this has been around. They've known this back in the 1800s. I don't know when it got the name the center fork trick, but let's look. What can white do? If he does nothing, he's just given up a pawn. And okay, if he takes it, here's the center, or a fork trick in the center. So what's white going to do here? He can play the bishop back to d3, and then black is fine here. Okay, the other choice that often happens, and black shouldn't fear it, is white will take on f7 with check, and then knight g5. Now you'll have to analyze this on your own. I'm not going to take it out to the full extent, but black is fine here. I don't remember the exact sequence. He does have to be careful, but at some point the pawn is going to go to g6 and the king will run to g7, and eventually the white attack will peter out and black will have the bishop pair. So black can happily play this position for a win because of the bishop pair. So white's given up quite a lot in either case. And just as a note, the center fork trick can sometimes come up in the Nimzovich defense, something I play. I've had it occur. Knight c3, knight f6, and bishop c4, and there it is again. And then you run into the same motive with the same ideas. Okay, so let's just go back. Remember the center fork trick. Have a good look at it on your time. Let's see what happened in this game. Okay, so white dodges a bullet. Black didn't see it. Oh, by the way, black was playing this game like it was a blitz game the whole game. He was always moving fast. He missed a lot of decent moves that could have caused white to stop and think a little bit more, and white got in time trouble, and that's what black needed. Anything. He was still playing on in a lost game, and we'll get to that later. Okay, so now white stops the center fork trick. Now I got to criticize this h6 strongly. Why? Are you afraid of this pin? Well, let him pin it. He's not going to be able to back it up with much. What's safe and solid in this position is just to play c6. Then boom, that knight is never going to go in there to d5 to molest that knight when you do have a pin. And at the same time, black is preparing for a thematic move that he wants to do in double king pawn openings, is play d5. So c6 at this point is fine. Castling kingside is fine. h6, not fine at all. Just a plain out bad move. And what's sad for black is he kept making moves like this. Kept moving his pawns, and before you know it, trades off his only developed pieces. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, this is perfectly logical. White's got a minor lead in development, so let's hit the center and see what black does. Now, knight a4 is okay. Probably nothing wrong with just continuing with the development. You're taking time to go ahead and kick that bishop. For instance, just simply knight f3 here. Nothing wrong with that. Again, there's nothing wrong with knight a4. Sometimes the black player will do that in these double king pawn openings when the white bishop is sitting on c4. So black decides he'll just eliminate the knight on g1 and stop white from castling kingside. And here's another peculiar move. What is he doing? He's going after pawns. Well, it has some ideas. Queen h4 check, but white has a move to prepare for that, and that's exactly what he does. And it's really a waste of time for black to even think about playing knight takes h2 here, because white has this really nice move, queen h5, attacking the knight and threatening a mate in 1. So what was black doing? Moving a piece twice when he's still got his entire queen side undeveloped and his king is still in the center of the board. Okay, and boom, another bad move. Well, it's got a threat. It's threatening b5, winning a piece. But if that's what you want to do, why not go this way? Why not play c6? Take away a useful square from white and possibly prepare an eventual d5. Well, we can't open up the game yet. We got to catch up in development. But a6, just a poor move. Black, I admire your name. I admire the fact that you want to be a future GM. But I'm going to tell you straight. Right now, you have a lot to learn. Okay? a6, bad move. Sorry, I'm brutal, but I'm just trying to help you become a GM. Nobody will be happier for you than me. Well, maybe your mom and dad and your wife, but anyway. Okay, so white just says, okay, I don't want you winning a piece. I'll bring that knight back into play where he belongs. Thank you. And here's another pawn move. What's he doing? Those pieces need to come out. And I just don't understand this move. It weakens h6 because that diagonal c1 to h6 won't stay open forever. Maybe he's afraid of something. Okay, f5, shutting in the knight. I don't know. But if he does get f5 in, unless he can push by with g5 and hope to lock up the king side, those pawns are targets. There's going to be some serious damage done here soon, especially with all these guys. There I've circled them, sitting at home. What are they doing? They're cheerleaders, and they're not helping. They need to be in the action. Okay. Probably white can play anything here. Any kind of plan is decent. Queen e2 just develops the queen. It does hold on to the pawn, I guess, but let him have it. Just develop your pieces. Okay, another strange move, and I made a comment. Clearly what black is trying to do here is hold f7 a little bit with his rook to a7. That's the idea. And actually that's what happened. So maybe that was black's plan. But again, why isn't he developing? Is it impossible to develop anything here? I mean, there's got to be something he can do. Knight c6, bishop d7, queen e7, anything. Get those pieces developed. Get that king to safety. Whatever it takes. You can't just keep moving pawns. Now, h3 is okay. Nothing wrong with it. I remember looking at some other ideas here. g4. And I pointed out during the game that white doesn't even need to worry about holding on to that pawn of h3 if that was his intent with g4 to secure it. Let black take it. Okay? You can simply develop. Now, I got a pawn. Okay? You can have it. Now I'll castle, and everything is looking fine for white. All the pieces are out, and not to mention the fact that white had some threats here. I think I was suggesting, here, let me see. Yeah, I know what I was suggesting. I was saying, why not this? Okay, got to deal with it. Then bishop e3, which attacks a pawn, by the way, and stops black from castling, although he may not want to castle over there. He doesn't want to castle anywhere at all because his king is just wide open anywhere it goes. So what's black going to do here? Maybe queen e7, I don't know, queen c7, knight b d7 to secure the pawn. Well, then the rook, if it goes to a7, it won't be holding on to f7 anymore. Clearly, taking this pawn is just bad. So white's in no hurry to hold on to that pawn on h3. He's got plenty of chances to do things, but nothing wrong with g4. White's so close to a one game here, it almost doesn't matter what he plays. Okay, yep, another pawn move. Oh man, okay, just drive me into the heart of your game. Now black trades off his only developed piece. He's developed two pieces and he's managed to trade them both off. So finally black develops his queen rook and uses it to hold on, and white just carries on. White's winning this. There's no defense. Maybe black could be stubborn in some way, shape, or form, but queen e2 is fine. My other idea of f takes e5 and bishop e3 is fine. Black's just given up too many tempi here, and he's busted. But he throws another pawn move in. I don't know. Maybe he wants a3 for either his knight or his bishop. I don't know. Then white just goes about his business, grabs a pawn, and the game's over. What can black do? Really can't do anything. His rook was under attack, so he slid it on over out of the way. And this is a good move. I was pointing out that it makes a threat. The threat is bishop takes f7 check, and on rook takes f7, white replies with queen takes e5 check and eats the rook on h8. And I was kind of laughing to myself, what does black do here after rook f1? Does he play rook h7? And both rooks are just so badly placed. Although the one on d7 I guess is okay, but the way it came into play was not typical. But anyway, black found this check. You know, see a check, give a check. You never know. Always check. It might be mate. Okay, king e2. And then he finds this great move, which at least gives up a pawn with check. And white found just as good a move. Free knight. Black's busted. He can resign now. It just goes on a little bit. And I still have one more thing to show you here, where black played a little too quickly. He's still playing too quickly. White's almost out of time. Black has still got most of his original 45 minutes left, so he's only been using his increment. His team captain needs to get after him and insist that he play slower next time. You'll see so much more when you play slower. You'll never become a GM unless you slow down your game. Take that from somebody that knows. Now, I'm not a GM, but I know I never would have made a master if I hadn't have taken my time, because I suck at blitz. And that's what you're playing here. You're playing a quick blitz game. Okay, a few nuisance checks. Let's just get down to the point. White can pretty much win this any way he wants. And he just happily takes pawns. Oh, probably what white should do is keep his bishop and just play it to h1. But he does this. It doesn't really matter. Now, black blitzed this move. He shouldn't have. He had a decent move. Okay, the natural move everybody's going to want to play is rook takes h8. And he did that in 1 second. What about this move? Now suppose white decides to hang on to his piece. Ooh, look at this. Now watch. Check. What are you going to do? You got to go there. Check. What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? You can't go there. You lose. So, black was playing on. He had one chance to trick white into a draw, but he didn't. Well, great game, white by white, and thanks so much for your time.